Inventory is up, prices are down from the peak, economy is not doing well, and rates are still kind of high. If you're a buyer in Toronto, should you buy now or wait? Hello everyone, my name is Hutan and I work in the real estate industry in Toronto. And in this video, I want to explain to you if you should buy real estate now or you should wait. Make sure you watch till the end of the video and you'll have a much better idea of how to look at this question and come up with the right answer. Let's talk about what's really happening in Toronto right now. Compared to a few years ago, buyers have a lot more choices. Homes are taking longer to sell and prices are not where they were at the peak. At the same time, borrowing is still kind of expensive. Right now, as I'm recording this video, bank's prime rate is about 4.5 to 4.5% depending which bank, which is still higher compared to early 2020s when you comparing it to the past 10 years, it's still not that high. Still, with this rate and average prices, a lot of buyers are still feel kind of stuck. They're scared of overpaying and some are also scared missing out because we know real estate is a cyclical thing and things will eventually go up. So most people ask the wrong question. It's not, is it a good market? The real question is, does it make sense to buy right now? One mistake I see all the time, the buyers are listening to headlines and reading to it too much. Sometimes headlines are telling about real estate nationally or province-wide or even city-wise. You hear about markets crashing somewhere else or bouncing back fast somewhere else. And people assume Toronto or your specific area that you're looking at is dealing and treating the same way and behaving the same way. Real estate is hyper-local. Toronto has its own market and each neighborhood and product type behave differently. Supply is different, demand is different, buyers' behavior is also different. So if you're waiting based on headlines and waiting to hear good headlines, trust me, you're waiting for the wrong thing. This is the rule I share with every buyer that I work with. Buying a home is not about timing the market perfectly, it's about timing your life perfectly. That means your job feels stable, does your income make sense, does your personal life is settled enough, do you have a realistic plan to stay for a while? If these things are not in place, then really doesn't matter if the best time for buy is you're not ready right now. And if everything is in place and you're stable in your job and family life, then you work with the current market and ignore the noise in reality, right? You gotta do what's right for you. I can tell you this, one thing has not changed. Even with higher rates, when you own a home, you can have a fixed mortgage cost. I'm not talking about the maintenance cost, I'm talking about your monthly payment for your house. But your monthly cost when you rent, it's a lot more variable. Sometimes rent goes up fast and sometimes slowly. Don't get me wrong, for some people buying is not an option and renting is absolutely the best option there. So don't think everyone should own a home. With ownership, even if rates are higher today, you're still paying down your loan. You're still building equity, assuming property prices aren't falling like crazy. And you're still creating options for the future. You cannot refinance rent, but you can refinance a mortgage when the time is right. Also, the stability that home ownership brings, renting doesn't bring. When you own a home, it's your home. No one will come and bother you that they want to sell the house, they want to inspect the house, or there is issue with the sound, and landlord is on your case. It's your own home space. This is an argument that a lot of people miss when comparing home ownership with renting home, which I will cover on my next videos. This is why I always tell buyers have to think long term, 5 years, 10 years, not what happens in the next 6 months. Sometimes though, you shouldn't buy, and this part is important. There are situations where buying does not make sense. You should seriously think about waiting. If you know you might move again in a couple of years, your budget only works if rate drops and your savings are tight and there's no really buffer for you, or your job situation feels kind of shaky and not stable. And I want to say this clearly, in this situation, renting is the best option for you and you can rent while you get yourself ready. And look, if you're someone who likes to move around a lot and still making good money, renting is the best option for you. You can save some money on the side and either invest in investment properties or invest in stock. So you're making your money work for you while renting and capping your monthly expenses. So let's say you want to buy, but the timing of your life is not right. Then use this time properly. First, work on your credit score. Make sure your payments on time. Better credit means better borrowing terms. Secondly, work on your down payment. One exercise I like to do is if owning would cost more than what you're renting right now, start saving that difference every month. And if that feels uncomfortable now, it will feel uncomfortable later too. Thirdly, build reserve fund for yourself. Owning a home comes with a lot of surprises, repairs, maintenance, unexpected costs. Having a few months set aside changes how confident you feel about ownership. You can use other saving methods such as RRSP and TFSA, which I will cover on my future videos, but sometimes you can tap into these later on when you're buying your first home. If you're planning to buy soon, this market gives buyers something they did not have before: time. You can slow down, you can run the numbers properly, you can ask better questions. In Toronto right now, opportunity often shows up in homes that have been sitting, homes that were priced too high at first, or sellers who are adjusting expectation. That does not mean everything is a deal right now, but strategy matters again. If you're thinking of buying in Toronto, here's how I would describe Toronto right now. This is not a panic market or a frenzy market. It's a market when realistic pricing works. Preparation for buyers matters, and buyers who understand their numbers also feel a lot more confident when looking at properties. Good properties still sell. As buyer, you have to have room to negotiate, and don't be scared to offer 5 to 10% lower than asking price. What's the worst thing that can happen? They're just going to tell you get lost and you move on to the next property. The biggest mistakes a lot of buyers are making now is waiting for certainty. They wait for rates to drop further and prices to drop more. They're waiting for the bottom of the market and don't want to catch the falling knife. And like they want to hear some good news stories. Look, real estate does not work that way. By the time everything feels obvious and you're hearing good news in the media, competition's already started to come back and the smart ones already scooped up all the good deals. Here's a simple test I use with clients. If you buy today and prices go sideways for a few years, which is possible, are you going to be okay? If rates stay higher for a bit, can you still sleep at night? If the answer is yes, then buying makes sense. If the answer is no, waiting and preparing is the better move in my opinion. Neither choices are wrong, but what matters is being honest with yourself. So the $1 million questions. Should you buy now or wait in Toronto? All I can tell you is don't wait for a crash and don't rush out of a fear of missing out. If your life feels stable, your numbers work today, and you're thinking long term, buying can make sense. And if you're not there yet, preparing is not wasting time. You save money and you will be well prepared when the time is right. If you like this video and if you're thinking of buying in Toronto, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help you out.